My next question is about the issue of loneliness, a big void in human beings that everyone seeks to satisfy in a different way. And if it is not satisfied, it may take on dangerous phases. Perhaps the modern man is uh, involved in this issue more than the past with the ever increasing expansion of individualism. John, my question is how much can we expect to be fully understood and solve our inner loneliness in relationships, friendships, and love? Being in a crowd is very different from not being alone. How can we not be alone, and what is our reasonable and attainable expectation to solve loneliness?
Well, there's many questions you just asked, actually. So I'll start with this one because you asked, is it possible to be fully known and understood? And I would say no. You're a mystery. You are not completely knowable. You are always coming to know yourself. Whatever you know is just the horizon of what you're going to come to know. I've been married to my wife now for 43 years. My wife is still a mystery. I can't always tell what she's thinking. I can't always tell what she's feeling. I'm always coming to know her, right? I know her more deeply than anyone else in the world, and yet I'm always coming to know precisely because we're unknowable, and also that we're unsayable. Whatever we know and can put into words is the frontier of what we can kind of sense and can't yet say, and what we have not yet sensed and of course cannot say. So I think one of the biggest problems in a relationship, if you don't realize that you are a mystery, you will think I am a defined content and I could be completely known. And then and then you're asking people to do what no one could do. And then you'd be asking yourself, I should be able to fully understand another person as if they're a defined content. They're a book. I could memorize this book. Think to yourself, we have a masterpiece of literature called the Quran, right?
Hmm.
There are people who have memorized the whole Quran.
Yeah.
They know, right? They could tell you anything in the Quran. And yet, can I say what's going on in my wife? Can I know her completely? No. So we oftentimes approach people with an entirely unrealistic view that anyone could know us completely, or that we could know them completely. And I think if we understand that you are a mystery who will never be completely known, and you don't even completely know yourself, then a relationship is this wonderful mystery. Like, I actually never completely know this woman who I have lived with for 43 years. And isn't that amazing? I will keep hearing things I haven't heard from her before. I'll be hearing something new. I'll be learning something new. I'll be feeling something different. So, in that way, it's always a coming to know, but never fully knowing the other. So, we have to tolerate, in a sense, that existential aloneness that yes, I am fundamentally unknowable. My wife is too. But then what a wonderful life of always coming to know and always being a mystery. She's always a mystery. So I think this is a very important thing to understand, that yeah, the impossibility of understanding someone like you would understand a book. Even like when we work with patients, we'll see repetitive behaviors, repetitive statements. That is not the person, that is the cage,
Hmm.
right? That's the conditioning. And we're interested in finding out, can we find the essence of the person behind that conditioning? Now, do we ever completely know the essence? No, but we sense it, and there is a kind of heart to heart knowing that happens. At least that's how I look at it. So I think many times people are very lonely because they misunderstand this basic fact of existence. And I think that then beyond that, then how do we overcome loneliness is loving others and having deep friendships. And I think in our current individualistic culture, it is a wonderful thing to be able to develop oneself as an individual, but we always develop in relationships. And I think and I think that that involves really this profound acceptance of others. The problem, I think, if individualism and not so much people become individuals, is that once you're individuals and differentiated, there has to be this deep tolerance, acceptance, and even of difference, love of different people. And I think what we're struggling with around the world is this difficulty of loving and embracing difference and different people and accepting differences and finding them as places of exploration rather than justifications for hatred. And I think this is where I think the philosopher Levinas is so helpful, because he talks about when someone says, "Oh, I know exactly what you think," everyone thinks, "Oh my God." Right? Because when someone says, "I know exactly what you think," they're saying, "You fit my concept. You don't exist, actually. I'm relating to my concept of you, and I'm actually no longer listening to you. You, as someone outside my concept, you don't exist. You're this."
Mm.
And that takes so many forms. And people say, "Oh, I know exactly what I don't have to hear more." It's like, wait a second. If you don't have to hear more, then you're relating to some idea. And in a sense, when you relate to an idea instead of that person, that's a symbolic form of murder, because you've just killed off the other person as genuinely not you, genuinely other. And I think when we do that, that makes us lonely.
Yeah, that's
See,
like
we're not lonely because there aren't people around. No, we're lonely if we put people in boxes and say, "I know what you think," because then we have killed them off in our mind, and we have refused relationship. We refused encounter with someone who has a different idea, a different perspective.